Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're going to watch a video featuring this Andrew Wilson guy because people have been hyping him up. And I'm curious, is he as slick of a debater as people think? He's going to debate, I guess, two atheist feminists on Christianity, which I'm very curious about. But first, don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now, and all opinions are welcome. And obviously, this video and anything else we may or may not play, or if we play it, I'll link it. Anything you see here on screen will be linked in that description box for you to look at on your own without us talking over it. All right, let's jump right into this. I'm very curious. I've heard the hype of the Andrew Wilson guy from people like Dubster. It's just not a great start for Andrew Wilson, but I treat individuals like individuals. And look, there he is. There he is. Prop. There he is. See that? There he is.
What?
Who mentioned the beast? I'm here now.
Like clockwork.
It's like you have like a NSA like wiretap on our Discord. Like you just know when the beast was brought up today. I'm here now. Please. Hey, what's going on here? You paid, bro? Don't lie to us either.
I'm not on Brock's payroll.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Anyways, continuing on here, let's get into this. From the Whatever podcast, I guess. Andrew Wilson schools two atheist feminists on Christianity. Here we go. Wait, what?
I just want to ask, wasn't this the guy who was grilled about his wife?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
He knows about it somehow. Okay.
I did see like 30 seconds of it. Really, that's it. But it was funny.
Of course,
Yeah,
you
he
would
did
know
not
this.
like that.
Of course,
He's
KDC would
he's
know
a very
this.
straight shooter. KSC. He's not like what you think he is.
Oh, I trust me. I've never even heard of that guy until I saw that clip. I don't even know who he was.
I'll say this.
I didn't pay attention to these things. I'll be honest.
I'll say this before we start. It looks like we have like the plastic cups here, and then the glass here, and it has the designs of paper cups. So I appreciate that. That's pretty cool looking to me. I would definitely buy those. The glass, not the plastic, the glass version. I would definitely buy those. But either way, oh god.
Andrew needs some beef seasoning.
Apparently he does. Apparently he does. Without further ado, here's Andrew Wilson, schools two atheist feminists on Christianity. Here we go.
And that, what are your criticisms of religion?
You said it was delusional?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think it is wildly illogical to me from my perspective. I don't understand personally why a God that seems to glorify suffering to earn peace and eternal life, what's deserving of worship? What's deserving of...
She already fucked up by she fucked up by saying glorifying. She fucked up by saying glorifying. Well, like, you go with the simple questions where it's like, why would God allow suffering? If, like, what would be the point of that? I'm sure the answer would be like free will. But either way, okay, glorifying, I guess she's referring to the Bible or any Abrahamic religion and talking about the stories within it. Okay, let's hear Andrew Wilson's answer to that. Here we go.
Why?
Okay,
what's deserving of worship?
Yeah, but how do you? But this is a problem. Is like you use religious terms in order to criticize religion. Like when you say words like suffering, how do you account for suffering? Suffering just means shit that you don't like. That's it.
It's a word.
That's all suffering means.
Well, I can narrow it down a little bit. I mean, if I
you're going to narrow, you will, but you're just going to narrow it down to subjective experiences I don't like or don't prefer.
I think
and if that's not what it narrows down to, I'm going to be stunned, but I'm going to let you narrow it down. So what is suffering?
Suffering's not God. It's just a word. It's not God's word. So that's a little weird, but it will narrow down to your own personal idea of like what you don't want to happen to you. in a way. I guess it would come down to what you would want to happen to you. I would think, or not want to happen to you at some point, right? Even if it's like empathy, where you're like, oh, is this guy? Oh my God, look at him, he's on fire. I can imagine what that might feel like. Oh fuck, that's suffering. Because if that happened to me, I'd be screaming in terror, right? Doesn't always work out that way, because sometimes just people like things that others would say like, oh no, that's terrible, but they may be like, I like this though, right? That other individual, but for the most part, that makes sense of what he's saying, right? What was that? Okay. All right, here we go.
I would say the suffering I was more referring to would be suffering that I believe is more unjust, not just because someone made a bad decision or messed up. I'm more referring to children and cancer and horrific things like that. The most
comes
common
back to what he
thing
was
I've
saying,
ever been
though.
told is everything happens for a reason, and if this terrible thing happens to this young child, leukemia, things like that, that it was all God's will.
Oh.
And I personally don't understand that whatsoever, because what has such a young child done to deserve any kind of
That's
test
really
from
strange
God?
that you're in.
Okay, so that's where like you went with glorifying at first, but you should have went with the thing I just said before, which was, why does he allow suffering at all? Which is, there's an answer for from the religious context, but it'd be a little bit more difficult versus you adding like a kind of qualifier to it of glorifying, right?
What's in the background?
Two dolls with blue and pink hair because they're leftists. Anyways, it's made for like it's you can see the background's very much made for kids. There's also a Chad with tribal tattoos or something like that next to whatever. Like yeah, very Airbnb, put our posters up on their windows type of thing, or house and studio, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Wait, what the fuck?
It's so funny too. The girl they hired, they're probably like, they're like, does she got dyed hair? Is it purple, pink? All right, get her on the show.
Wait, what's this? It says Streamlabs, $99 plus for them to read your fucking comment, and $200 for them to have text to speech comments. That's a little weird too. It's a little weird. Shouldn't it be like? Should you be able to like scan comments, and be like, okay, what's most pertinent for this conversation? Should you be able to do that? Like you don't have to be like me, or I just read the comments, right? You have to like, you can pick and choose, right, guys? It's a business, though. You know?
The fact that they have like whatever just slapped all over the window like that just reminds me of Fresh and Fit, because they do exactly the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, see, they are targeting your generation. They're targeting you.
I want nothing to do with this.
They're targeting you. It's working right now. It's working.
Away, you never return.
It's working right now, KSA.
I've never been in the Red Pool space.
Money speaks.
Don't let Rafiki throw you off the cliff.
Hey, Rafiki needs some Brock Lesnar blend.
Anyways,
the only God I see really here in this on the screen is the money.
but like you could see like like aesthetically the parallels, right? Of this guy, like just everyday dude wearing a hoodie, just rocking a who gives a fuck. And you have these pretentious precocious college kids thinking they're so fucking smart. Oh, guess what, Tammy? You're about to get fucking owned. Watch this. Right? It's like kind of like the aesthetic setup of the scenario, right? Kind of like aesthetically set up that way. But anyways, going back to their actual conversation. Yeah, it's putting glorify in there kind of hurts it a bit, but she should have went with something more so like, hey, if there's a just and loving God, why do they give kids leukemia or random people that didn't do anything quote unquote wrong? Why give them cancer? Right? That should have been her thing, but she used the word glorify. And this guy Andrew Wilson might take advantage of that. I hope he tries to be honest instead. Oh, good.
She makes a definitive statement. Like, there isn't definitive proof that there is no God, but she can pose questions about, like, the Christian Bible and what the fuck it says, and or just like the interpretation of God, or she can question God too, but just like pose it in a question, so that she doesn't instantly put herself up against the boards.
Yeah. Well, I think she is using. Well, she didn't use a quote. She could have used a quote, but she didn't do that. And she's implying, because of the book, saying, "Oh, my guess is, or where she's coming from is, oh, in the Bible they glorify suffering of people, right?" And then he tried to lay out a definition of suffering, or, well, yeah, he laid out a definition of suffering that, yes, inevitably she's going to have to agree with as far as logic goes, right? Something quote unquote subjective that you believe a harm is being done to you, or something you don't like is happening to you, so thus it's suffering, right? Which I think would be the case for. I think it would boil down to that for everyone, unless you maybe add a little bit more of the meaning of suffering, right? Which is what Andrew, like, if she put the onus on Andrew Wilson, he'd have to answer for that. Right? If I didn't do anything wrong, why should I suffer?
What these people do is they know to pose everything as a question towards the other person, so they just fucking get Socratic method out the ass.
But you should do that, prop. That should be the case. I think you should be.
But it's like it's not even the Socratic method. It's like a dishonest version of it, where you're just like, why? But why? Why?
Hold on. I'm remuting self. What do you mean in Socratic method? I'm not understand. Can you explain me that? So stupid.
By questioning things, by questioning people's deeper beliefs, and trying to get to the root of them, and the core, like the absolute essence of someone's argument.
Epistemology.
They can't.
Yeah. To know you don't know. In a way.
And you
Russian?
Say that again, Velez. You're very muffled.
No, I was asking if Velez was Russian.
We're recording right now. Shut up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I can tell by the accent. That's one.
He's Ukrainian. Go ahead. Go ahead, Velez. Tell us.
You guys sound alike.
Okay.
No, ask your question again.
I'm not fucking Ukrainian. I'm Russian. It's important.
Ask your question again, Velez.
I forgot.
Oh, fuck. God dang it.
I don't think I use the Socratic method or whatever, but that's what these people, they try to act like that, though. They try to to give the persona that they're like Socrates, like they're just like.
I just one amazing accent about your Socratic method. It's bullshit. And it's okay.
Nah.
What I understand the idea to be is you don't know something, so thus you ask questions to arrive at an answer because you don't know. That's what I typically take as the Socratic method in a very vague way. But that's the tenets that I would follow personally. Like, I don't know the answer, so you know what? I'm going to ask questions to arrive at one. Or be left with better questions, right? Maybe you don't know something at the end of the trail, but maybe you have better questions to ask because you have heard a lot more. That makes sense. That's what I take the Socratic method to be.
Which is a lot more dangerous than what these fuckers doing. They're just picking on people, and they're just like, why? Why? Why?
Well, they want to get them. I mean, I can't say no. They might want to get them tripping over themselves or something like that. They might want to
and then
do that.
Clip it.
Possibly.
Their sole purpose is just to get many clips.
Possibly.
I've never seen these guys other than just constantly on fucking YouTube shorts. And it'll just be the most it'd be the dude will be like, women are just stupider than men, and then the girl's just like, that isn't true, and it'd be like, prove it. And then she'll be like, and then it'd be like, see everybody, she's an idiot.
That is a distinct possibility. I can't say I know that. I'm being very fair. I don't know this fucking guy enough. I've only seen a handful of videos or content involving this guy. So I'm going to be fair and leave the arena open. Shout out to Dr. Disrespect. The arena is open for possibilities. Let's hear where he goes, and let's hear where these young ladies go to. Here we go.
And you were raised Catholic?
Yes.
And they told you it's in God's will?
Yes.
That people get cancer?
It's all part of God's plan.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, the problem is, again, so all of the criticisms that you would come up with for religion, right? You have to account for all of them. So when you say words like just, it's loaded. Like, what is justice? Well, I can give you two forms of justice. There's a Christian form of justice you're probably more used to, like empathy. Oh, you came in and you stole a bunch of shit from my house. Is it then just for me to go and steal a bunch of shit from your house?
No.
No.
How the fuck is that?
That's really weird, though, because
just,
I can give you a
just
completely
universal
alternative
empathy.
view of justice that seems like it's totally within the confines of reason. If you steal from my house for me to be able to steal from yours, that seems completely within the line of reason. Seems totally logical to me. There's nothing illogical about it. There's no violations of the laws of logic, right? It's well within reason. What's the problem? The problem is you just don't prefer that kind of justice, right?
Sure. I'm also not 100% clear on some of the differences between Catholic and Christian teachings. You know, I can say...
Well, Catholics are Christians, I would say.
I've been told by a few people that there's like some different teachings or how they're interpreted personally. So I'm totally...
People will not consider them to be Christians. Yes, that's true. Non-denom.
That is
so
stupid
I would
statement.
largely chop it up.
That is retarded. You go back fucking 30 years and fucking being Catholic was like a huge deal or whatever. You were looked at like you were like an alien. Like Kennedy was the first Catholic president, and then after, I don't think there was one other than Joe Biden. And like when Kennedy got elected, it was like a big deal to be a Catholic president. It's like they were like fucking how people talk about Jewish people, you know?
Yeah, but that's
so like
that's on a social scale. I thought I hope these guys are trying to
like
bridge the bigger questions.
They have different like the Christians believe that Christ is the core tenet of, or like the core person, like the main character of their story, and then Catholics, which I grew up as a Catholic, they pray to the trilogy or whatever, the Son and the Holy Ghost or whatever, and Mary.
Star Wars. Or the trilogy. I don't know, honestly. Personally, I had no fucking clue, honestly. I hope they argue less about the tenets, like they should argue what's in the book if any one of these guys are following that thing, like distinctly. But I want to hear the bigger truth about, hey, if there's a fucking being that controls the infinite universe we live in, apparently, what's on their mind? What's in their thoughts? What is that intelligent design? What is that? I want to bridge those fucking gaps, or at least attempt to. That's what I want to hear from these people. But who knows? Yeah, be fair. And yes, there's a lot of Catholics in the world, right? There's a lot of Catholic followers in the world. But all right, let's hear potentially where they go, I guess. Here we go.
So I'm totally...
Whatever.
Not consider them to be Christians. Yes, that's true. Okay. Non-denom. So
if there's...
I would just largely chop it up to three. There'd be... I chop it up this way, okay? Most Orthodox would just say everything that's not Orthodox is Protestant. But I just chop it up to there is Protestantism. These are all of the branches of Christianity which came from Martin Luther after the schism, and then there's Catholicism, which came from Orthodoxy after the schism, and then there's Orthodoxy, the original Church of Christ. So that's how I would view it.
Catholicism didn't come from Orthodoxy. Orthodoxy came from Catholicism. Daly should know this.
I should know this? I thought we were talking... Okay. You weren't responding to Andrew Wilson? Okay. Fair enough. Once again, I want to hear if is it right or wrong, not right or wrong as like correct or incorrect. I want to hear that more so than denominations of different churches and sociological changes and shit like that. I want like what's real and what's not. That's called skin in the fucking game, which means if you call it real, you have to live by it. That's what I want to hear, personally. But here we go.
From Orthodoxy after the schism, then there's Orthodoxy, the original Church of Christ. So that's how I would view it, right?
So how do you? I mean, I've read most of the Old Testament. I haven't finished
I don't think her answer was question. Her question was
some of
answered.
the new one, but when it comes to science and religion, I know that's always like such an annoying topic. But how do you justify the Bible through that?
Well, science doesn't make. Science can't make claims about the metaphysical. What? Like science can't tell you if there are or not ghosts.
Well, kids screaming, I'm not
it can only tell.
That doesn't make sense because first of all, this whole idea, like science can't do that. Like that's just saying that word science is like it seems like a misnomer for like what's actually meant by like scientific method or
discovery.
It's like, is it guys in lab coats? Is that what science means or scientist means? Like, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. That's kind of I would dig into that word science. Well, science says this. Like, does it? I think science is a whole bunch of things, including into the paranormal. They actually do try to go into that realm for sure. Like, there's plenty of people I've heard of that try to go into the paranormal realm and try to make explanation for things that they can't exactly pour into a beaker. So I don't know what he means by that. I really don't know, like in a philosophical sense. I don't understand what he means by that. Well, science can't explain this. Like, well, but if you say scientific method, it changes that whole thing around, doesn't it? Because if you have a hypothesis, like, okay, there's ghosts. Hey, I think there's ghosts out there. I felt a cool touch on my arm when I was 5 years old. I think there's ghosts out there. Then you do like tests and observations and all the fucking shit to find out, is that the case? Now, if you don't arrive at an answer, it does not mean there's no ghost. But also, if you do find an answer, it doesn't mean like, oh, well, or it would mean like the scientific method, quote unquote, actually led you to an answer, or at least your perceived answer of things. So to say like science doesn't do this is like a weird statement to me. Does anyone know what I'm saying with that? Like,
yeah, but I think she gave so much space. Like her question was so poorly.
Is very dissy.
Yeah, he could have just destroyed. He could have done the same thing that you just said about him or whatever.
She didn't really explain like even what she means by her question. Because usually like there's contradictions within the two spaces of what, instead of saying science, of things that we observe, and conclude, versus what's in the Bible. If people say like, okay, you can trace the lineage and you come to a conclusion that like through creationism, it's so many thousands of years old versus like millions of years old, and there's the dinosaurs or whatever. Like there's all these things that appear to be contradictions. They might be able to explain it, but like that's the type of nature of things that I think she's asking, but she allowed it like so much space that he can just reverse the question. It's like, science doesn't explain.
Jesse, that's what I meant by that Harrison Smith question to Candace Owens, or like his question/statements where I'm like,
right,
that's not good enough to like kind of pin her down to answer these questions. Same thing with this one. And the first girl too. Like they're not, I mean, if I could, I don't want to like put words in her mouth to be like, oh, they meant this. I can't do that to be fair to everyone. Plus I can't just like put words in their mouth and say like, oh, they meant this by this question. I can't do that. But your mind be like, no, you should have asked this way. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you should have asked it like this maybe, to like really pin down the question to get like a more of a direct answer versus, well, science didn't do this. It's like, okay, you have no explanation for the paranormal. Like, I don't think anyone does really. I think as far as I've seen, or any of like the kind of the woo-woo topics, because like just because quote unquote science doesn't have an answer for this thing does not mean it couldn't one day, or that something else outside of Christianity could have an answer for that thing, right? So it's like a kind of okay. Well, I'll be fair. Let's see where he goes. I'll play the girl's question again, by the way. Let's hear that again. Here we go.
To Christ. So that's how I would view it, right?
So how do you? I mean, I've read most of the Old Testament. I haven't finished it. Some of the new one, but when it comes to science and religion, I know that's always like such an annoying topic. But how do you justify the Bible through that?
Well, science can't make claims about the metaphysical.
Is she jerking her mic off?
Like science can't tell you if there are or not ghosts.
No.
It can only test whether or not there are or not ghosts here, right?
She didn't mention ghosts.
It's not going to make ought claims, right? It's not going to make any. It just doesn't test for that. So,
right.
If I wanted, if you're doing a scientific experiment, it's got to be falsifiable, right? That's what makes it. So, the thing is we're going to start with an observation. In this case, you're going to observe. You think there's a ghost. Let's say you think there's one, right? So then your hypothesis is like.
He's giving the same argument he gave the other guy.
This person hasn't passed on yet, right? Something like this. And then you're going to conduct an experiment.
Different
so
context.
you go and you get equipment and you come
not a
up
response
with
to your question.
electronic voice phenomenon, right? And you're trying to catch the spirit's voice on that or some shit, right? So you can even say like ghost hunting could be a rigorous scientific endeavor. It doesn't sound like one though, does it? You know what I mean? It's not really.
You literally believe in the Holy Ghost.
Those kinds of questions. That's not what a scientific endeavor. It doesn't sound like one though, does it? You know what I mean? It's not really designed to answer those kinds of questions. That's not what it's there to do.
I just mean in terms of like.
But you can't just use religion for that's. Like as far as like what quote unquote science, the way he's describing it, like actually boils down to is just straight up like, I don't believe it till I've seen it. That's basically what it boils down to. How does religion answer for that? It can I can write a story about. I can do the Firas Zahabi and say, well, gravity is gremlins pulling people back down to Earth because they want to keep them here. Right. So when you jump, it's gremlins pulling you back down to Earth. Why can't you do it? Why can't you go with that explanation? Write anything you want in those places. So okay, fair enough. It's more so him debunking science having the quote unquote science having the answer to everything. But once again, I think more the idea of scientific method, which is what he would use probably for his religious takes, right? Something like a feeling he had, an observational, something he observed, he experienced, right? As to why this must mean God exists. Or the words were inspiring to him. That's proof. See, look. The feeling I got from reading these words means that's real. Same thing, like the same burden is on them too for their religious experiences. So like, okay. I don't think I don't think he answered her. I mean, well, her question was not very distinct. Not very detailed at all. I read the Old Testament and some of the new one. I don't understand how this can work with science. Well, science can't tell you about the paranormal. Like, okay. All right. Okay. Let's see where she has a follow-up. Let's hear what she says. There we go.
Answer those kinds of questions. That's not what it's there to do.
I just mean in terms of like, it says the Earth was created 6,500 years ago or something.
Well, that's young Earth creationism, but the thing is like there are people who fight over young Earth or old Earth creation. I've always considered it to be a silly fight to have because it really has nothing to do with the point. So,
what do you believe?
The Bible warns us not to adhere to endless genealogies. so that we don't get bogged down in nonsensical questions like that, right? It's just not that important from the Christian purview, whether the Earth is 6,000 years old or not.
Well,
it kind of does, not 6,000 years old, but like any age, because it depends on like when humans exist in regards to Adam and Eve, right? The first humans.
Yeah.
So it does actually pertain to, unless he doesn't believe in that, right?
The reason it is important. I mean, it's not ultimately important in like, do you believe in Jesus or not? Like that's the bigger part of Christianity. But
it kind of does.
Like, there's a varying degree of like how literal people believe the Bible is. But if you believe in the Bible, then there is a lineage of people, like it names them ancestor to ancestor to ancestor down the line. so you'd have a very like that's why they come up with that like age of the earth. It's not an exact number, but I mean there's a big difference between 6,000 or like like it's a ballpark, right?
Yeah.
Where if you're saying like hundreds of thousands or millions or billions of years, like there's not really space for that. So there are people like sometimes they explain it where, well, a day doesn't mean a day, or like the creation of or the 7 days weren't like like Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have been like large periods of time or something. So there's explanations for it, but like if you it really goes into what you believe and or how flexible you are in your interpretation.
And that's fair enough. But it does. That would be an important question. I would think. You're whatever years ago, or whatever the fuck, and thus the origin itself, right? You could say 11,000 years ago, it was Adam and Eve. They were put here as God's created in God's likeness to do yada yada yada, whatever the fuck it is, right? That is important. Like you have to actually showcase your origin, because if Adam and Eve become a symbolic story, then it's like, okay, what else is symbolic then? How do we know all of it isn't just symbolic things? It's not actually literal. In which case, it changes quite a bit as far as interpretation goes. Quite a bit. I think it's established that Jesus talks in parables, but before that, it's supposed to be kind of historical almost, right?
Yeah, the teaching always says that like this is a literal like word of God. So you may interpret it in different ways, but every Christian is taught that it's the literal word of God. So this is now it doesn't mean everybody believes every word in it, but that is like what the religion says.
I feel like the majority of people that are Christian or identify with Christianity, like it's like my mom, she doesn't go to church or give a fuck about church or even the Bible. She cares about like the core story line about Jesus sacrificing himself and like the state being corrupt and like you go to heaven if you do good things.
Yeah, probably. That's probably actually the majority of belief is like, yeah, do the right thing. And it's, once again, depends on time period. The time period can change what like doing the right thing means. In which case it's kind of, hey man, do the best you can with what you got. That's what I typically interpret that regular, typical practitioners of Christianity are doing. Do the best you can with what you have. Some will try harder, some will try less. It is what it is. Don't worry, we understand, we forgive you. You're good. It's okay. Right? That's kind of like the typical interpretation of things. But the hymns say like, well, just people arguing like, what time did Earth start, or did humanity start, or whatever the fuck. It's whatever. That's their thing. It's not even important to this conversation. Like, that's bullshit. It absolutely is important for this type of guy, right? He's trying to make an actual like, logical argumentation for this whole concept and idea. Like, yeah, that is very much important. It very much is. Was God like, oh, you know what? I'm playing with dinosaurs, but then I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Here's some people. Let's add people in here. See what happens. That is important. It really is. That should not be dismissed, and hopefully this girl doesn't let it get dismissed. Let's see what she says. Here we go. By the way, I let them both spank me, by the way. It happened. And the dolls in the background, too. They can spank me, too. Barbie and Barbette can spank me. All right, here we go.
Right? It's just not that important from the Christian purview, whether the earth is 6,000 years old or not.
Well, maybe
no, it really
not,
is.
But the point is that it is older than 6,000 years. So there is really no argument when it comes to that.
Affirmative instead of asking questions.
Just one example of something in the Bible that, I mean, when they wrote it, they had no understanding of like geophysical sciences.
She went to affirmative.
Well, they understood a lot more than people think. Like, I hear people say they didn't really understand things very well, but and one of the things I hear all the time is like, well, they didn't understand where babies came from. It's like, but the whole Old Testament is filled with his seed will go into her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think they kind of got where babies came from.
But what about like when they said that plant life was made before the sun? That was before we had an understanding of
in Genesis?
Of photosynthesis.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact verbiage is in Genesis for which in the creation story which thing came first.
Is plant life and then sun.
Okay. Sure.
It's like the first chapter.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I'd have to pull up Genesis in order for me to
and do it, you fucking coward.
I'm just saying that again, these seem like the
I get what you're saying. Probably it's just like if someone's like actually like you said, what'd you say? You said fucking just live a good life. You know, there's a loving being in the universe somewhere looking over us, right? Hoping for our best lives. They want us to be good. They don't want us to be bad. Like simple shit like that. If we lose, like that is something I don't think should be lost sight of because motherfuckers are trying to argue for the quote unquote literal interpretations of some book from fucking 2,000 fucking years ago. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I try to push Christians that are dabbling in politics and stuff. I try to push this book called I Don't Believe in Atheists, or When Atheism Becomes a Religion, and it's by Chris Hedges, and it has so much shit about
I've seen his
whatever like
on this. Yeah.
It's like boosting religion, but in like a good way, and debunking atheism, but then debunking shit in religion, like about what Sam Harris would say about like the questions she's posing, and how like there is validity to those things, and that like he's saying in his thesis that like the Bible is like not the word of God, and that the actions of love that we do to one another of kindness is like the word of God, and like the oral tradition of that is more important than like what the Bible says and the shit that people promote in the Bible.
That's when I first found Chris Hedges. It wasn't politics. It was religion. It was him debating someone on
was it Hitchens? He did Hitchens, Sam Harris, and one other atheist.
Oh Christ! I think it was Fuck! It was a long time ago. It's a long time ago when I watched this. But that's when I first found this guy. I'm like, oh my god, this guy was like a war correspondent and fucking all that shit. I'm like, oh, this is not some like pussy mega church guy debating fucking Sam Harris. You know, like it just pulled it out of like from kind of novelty to skin in the game type of thing. You know, where you like you practice what you preach type of thing. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's interesting.
Like his dad was a priest or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was like his whole life is just religious, and he still like is respected in certain churches and shit.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Cornel West, same thing to me. From when I first started, when I first found these guys, because I was very curious. I had no idea. I didn't ever thought about it before. So I'd watch lectures and debates between some of these guys. And some people sound like full of shit to me. Others did not. And I couldn't shake this thing of just dismissing this whole idea of a spiritual aspect to the world. I couldn't shake that one for me. So thus I just followed the guys that wouldn't dismiss it in a way. So yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, with this discussion here.
That's the thing is, like, this guy has the fucking access where he could have Chris Hedges or somebody that's a little bit more, well versed in these topics. But he's just like, you can hardly handle this girl, actually. Like, you didn't even know what the fucking commandments were and shit. And like the first fucking story.
This guy, I feel like so far what I've seen is he's referencing Christianity, and he even organized it in 3 groups or whatever, but I don't think he has a very good grasp of it. And he, like, I don't care, like, when people can believe whatever they want, right? Whether he's Christian, he could believe anything, like any religion or partial religion or blend of them. Like, I don't care. But like, by representing himself as Christian, like, or in that framing so far, what I saw, like, and then what he's kind of hand waving, it doesn't work for me. Where to me, so far his argumentation kind of is more towards like, okay, a belief in God, and maybe the moral compass of Christianity, possibly. He might be going that way, but like, he doesn't really seem to like.
No scripture.
If you haven't read Genesis, like which is the very first thing, like, okay, you haven't gotten maybe to the 3rd chapter, or you haven't gotten like to the very beginning. That's usually where people start, and they don't get to the end, right? Like, they start there. And they probably read that one more than anything. So,
I don't mind that, Jesse. I don't mind that though. Go ahead.
Well, I don't mind that if he's representing himself as like, okay, this is for the belief in God and the moral, the Christianity, the morality in Christianity. There, I'd be fine. But like, if he's selling it as just Christianity, then I'm like, what are you doing? Like, doesn't make sense to me, right? Like,
you've seen his other shit too, right, Jesse? You've seen his other work too, like how like he acts, I
seen
like,
him the other day.
He superior and more
using
educated.
The same words. He was talking about that whole ought argument. Like, science can't give you the ought. Like, what should you do, type of thing.
Yeah.
And he started to say that again, but that was for a completely different question. Like, because he was arguing with somebody who's like on a whole different topic of that. Like, that really was more about morality, or at least he brought it to that side. And maybe that's what he's trying to do here, is he might be trying to force that discussion so that he'll be in comfortable territory.
Oh, god dang. I mean, listen, I'm like, when it comes to religion stuff, just like this guy was talking about, like, it'll boil down to this anyways. When it comes to, what was he saying? Like, the idea itself, once you start arguing it, if enough questions are asked, it'll boil down to this, to like a kind of primal level, metaphysically speaking or philosophically speaking, primal level. Same with this. Like, we're going to boil it down to Andrew Wilson's Christianity. Not Catholic, not Protestant, not even Christianity in a sense. It'll just be Andrew Wilson's Christianity. It'll boil down to that. That's where I leave room for him. I get what you're saying, Jesse. But like, if he has like some sort of inkling, a fucking intuitive sense about like, I like this story arc. I like these stories, this idea, this belief, the thing that I view it as. It'll boil down to Andrew Wilson's version of Christianity. It won't be a group thing at all, in my humble opinion. And you know what? I'm okay with going down that rabbit hole. It's just these 2 girls are asking like very vague, big world questions. and he's pulling it down to Andrew Wilson level of things. I'm like, why not just go there? But may not be. These girls might be used to kind of canned questions and answers to where, you know, you're not used to like working on the fly. Like, okay, let's go there. Let's go to these fucking depths, these levels about these topics, not just, you know, use Christianity when it's convenient and then leave it alone when it's not. That can't be the answer because we're trying to ask the bigger questions about the world, right? Fuck, what were they saying before? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My memory is dog shit. What were they saying before to where it's like, oh, it's going to boil down to this anyways? What was he saying to her, to the dark-haired girl? Fuck. He said something to her where it's like, it's going to boil down to this anyway, so why not just go there initially? You know what I'm saying? Or anyone?
Nah, my bad. I was AFK. I was about to ask what this video is about because I just came back.
It's two atheist feminists debating the Chad God, Andrew Wilson. I'm trolling, but fuck, bro. He brought up a thing where it's gonna lead here anyway, so why not just go there off rip? Type of argumentation. Fuck, whatever. Maybe I'll remember as we keep playing, but either way. Here we go. I'll back up a little bit.
Get a thumbs down.
Give this video a thumbs down. Is that from Nickelodeon? What's that?
From you?
Yeah, it's Nickelodeon like shard thing. All right, here we go. Memory
story, which thing came first?
It was plant life and then sun.
Okay, sure.
Contradiction.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I'd have to pull up Genesis in order for me to contextualize it. But I'm just saying that, again, these seem like the least important questions. Like, let's even say that the accounting of that was incorrect or just an allegory or something like that. I don't believe it was. I think it's both actually true and it's allegorically true. And it is also trying to convey like various lessons and this kind of thing, right?
Right.
But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that that was not actually the case. How does that really contradict with Christian ethics, ultimately?
I don't think it contradicts the ethics, but I think that it makes the Bible like illogical. Like it makes it not
pointless almost.
I wouldn't trust it for.
Or maybe not pointless, but just not
more morality
in the way that people see it.
That it had some good ideas. Maybe the new one.
Yeah, but when people are making moral claims about religion, they're
like,
not referencing whether or not
forcing
you think.
that. June talking about that.
Let me hear this.
That it had some
like
good
I'm
ideas.
I'm not religious at all, but there is shit in the Bible that I think is like good allegory, good storyline.
Fair enough. Let me hear what he says here because I think it's actually interesting. I want to hear this.
People are making moral claims about religion. They're not referencing whether or not you think it's logical what happened in Genesis or the parting of the sea or things like that. They're not. It's not really what it's testing for when it comes to Christian ethics, and Christians are making moral claims, right?
Then what is it testing for?
Well, Christians are taking the virtues and the teachings of Jesus Christ. And what they're doing is they're taking these concepts and combining them into an ethical system called Christian ethics.
Okay.
And they're making prescriptions on that.
Right.
So even my argument would just always be, because I'm not a Christian apologist, there's people way better at that than me for the accounting stories and things like that. But my argument is always just like, even if morality is subjective, Christian ethics clearly has a ton of value. Even to consequentialists, it seems to have a ton of value. So even if it is the case that Christians were delusional, like you said, it seems like you would want them to be, because they're super charitable. Super charitable.
No. You can't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
They keep society rolling, right? So even if it was the case that you thought they were living in a delusion, like who cares? From your view, it's like they should probably live in that delusion. It's probably better that they live in that delusion.
See, I
feel like you just shot over the Bible and said it's a good basis. That's how I take that.
An origin.
He shit over it. Maybe it's not right, but it's still a better principle and moral compass.
No, you can't do that though. Like the crux of your thing is that there is an arbiter of your morality. There's something that decides that it is correct or incorrect to to do this action or to behave this way or have this intention, there has to be something that there has to be like a prime source for all of that. Whether it's
God,
right? Exactly. That'd be their argument for objective reality. You can't just give that up and be like, well, but it sounds better though, right? It sounds better. It's cooler, right? Like, look at his outfit. Look at Jesus. See that outfit? It's cooler, right? Pick Jesus. It can't be the case. It has to be because it's like, it is right. It is better. It is correct. That has to be the answer, right? Otherwise, you're not actually practicing those religions, are you? Right? Am I tripping on that? Like, you have to actually like affirm or have some sort of epistemological answer to like lead to like, this is why it's correct because this. Here's the main source. That's why it's correct. You have to have that. Otherwise, it's all up to, he says, this is the thing that Dubster pointed me out to. he said he had to actually like, wreck these guys by saying, if I give up, if I say subjectively, if all morality is, relative, then it's all correct. Ours is better. If it's all relative, then my answer is actually better. It sounds cooler, right? It's really cool. It's not an answer for like, supposed to be a big PP question in the universe, right? If there's an arbiter saying this is the answer, this is the right way to go, there it is. Good luck explaining the big arbiter. Good luck making that, like proving that. Good luck with that. But still, that'd be your answer. It can't be, well, okay, everything's relative. My answer's better. It doesn't work. That does not work at all, philosophically.
His answer sounded closest to the atheist answer of morality.
But he's not supposed to go there. He's not supposed to go there. Actually.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like his answer, like in the atheist, like there isn't generally an absence of morality. There are things that are better, and however you construct that better, and however you say, come up with those conclusions, there you do have morality, right? And he practically abandoned God in his argument, which fair enough that like when you use God, it's very hard to use that for somebody who doesn't believe in God, right? Like, well, it's not provable, but that's the thing. That's the position of somebody in religion because it's not provable, but that's what you believe. That's why it's called faith.
Exactly. Exactly. So like you're not supposed to like drop down a layer to fucking argue on the hey man, like listen, it's all relative, but guess what? My answer is relatively better than your answer. First of all, you can't even prove that. Also, the idea of relativity itself is like, aren't you kind of implying that there is a correct answer and you're trying to like relatively move towards that? In a way, if like for Andrew Wilson on his own, not for the whole world, but him on his own, he believes this is like the better answer. Thus, he has a better answer in mind that he's relatively moving towards compared to others. Right? That's implied, I think, just by language alone. So I don't get that one. I don't get that one, especially for someone saying they're Christian in like a typical Christian way. So he's dismissing the Bible, right, and saying, well, whatever. He's dismissing, I guess, Scripture. Whatever. He's also dismissing God itself. Whatever. It's better though, right? It's like, what the fuck?
The way this motherfucker acts, like, it repels people. And then people that like Chris Hedges and Cornel West and other religious people that are more inclusive and more open-minded, it like brings people into the religion and opens atheists' minds and shit. But instead, these fucking people are just like running from any fucking criticism or any questioning.
Oh my
God! They just
God!
spin themselves into a pretzel.
Leave politics alone. Go watch The Matrix. I'll say that to you right now. You and Joe, peas in a pod, bro. Leave the politics out and start looking in some real spiritual shit, bro. I dare you to. Also,
I just wish I had a deep voice like Joe.
Also, this lady has an Arby shirt on. That's kind of crazy. The doll has an Arby shirt on. That's hilarious to me. I'll give them credit for
Got
that.
the meats. That's a bold move, bro.
The Simpsons joke. I'm so hungry I could eat
Oh,
an
it's
Arby's.
fucking on the it's on the doll. These guys are fucking cringe, bro. They put an Arby's. I thought it was one of the guests. I was like, that's bold, bro.
Like this
Fuck, that's some troll ass behavior, bro.
That's
some Dustin Bryan shit right there.
Does this chick look this way and be like, wait a minute, pink hair? Pink hair. Wait a minute. Does she freak out a bit?
I see what's going on here.
Wait a minute. I've been had. But yeah, no, it's like don't try to win. Like, it seems like the idea is to win the argument instead of like being real, man. If you believe in something, if you believe there's a creator of the universe, a fucking the omnipotent being that exists in the fucking universe looking over everything we do, why isn't that like the biggest news 24/7? Shouldn't it be? Now, if he doesn't believe that and he has his own version of Christianity, which I think it boils down to actually at the end of the day, but let's say his own version of Catholicism or Protestant or whatever the fuck he wants, whatever he's diving into, like, just say that. Why are we fucking around here? But to say there's some sort of intelligent being in the universe observing all of matter itself, to walk away, well, let's be real. Okay, I'll dive into your idea of relative morality then. Like, what? The fuck are we doing? You're saying you have the keys to heaven's gate and you're not saying it? What the fuck does that make of you? Why aren't you like spilling that out? Exactly. It should be screamed from the fucking highest tower on earth. Hey guys, I found heaven. Here's how you get here. He should be screaming that shit, shouldn't he? If he actually like skin in the game, actually believe in that stuff, shouldn't he be doing that?
OnlyFans is where heaven is. That's what I'm learning from his show.
Oh my god. Anyways, all right, last minute of this, but okay, fair enough. It seems more about winning arguments and making content than it does about actual care for Christianity or the idea of a Christ figure that existed 2,000 years ago, or whatever the fuck. Seems like I'll call it phony. I'll be honest with you. Seems phony.
Guys descended into Christ consciousness, and you just can't see it.
Yeah, okay. We'll see about that. Shout the Arby's. Shout the fucking Arby's. All right.
That's Christ
we have the meats. Yeah. For Christ's sake.
Dignified. Goddamn. Oh god.
Actually, before I played, you heard of Beyond Absurd prop? Is that you? Is that you, by the way?
No.
Okay. There's a guy who follows this channel named Beyond Absurd, and he does clips. He's a bunch of clips. That Alex Jones shit I was playing, if you saw that, that was him. He made an hour-long fucking video of just Alex Jones clips being stupid as shit. Once again,
oh shit,
he's in a fucking bod. You, him,
I think I know.
and
I
Joe.
think I know who that is. I think I know who that channel is. That's funny.
I don't care.
Were you arguing with them in your chat?
No. He likes YellBro.
Did you ask them if they were me?
Did I? I don't think so.
Okay.
All I know is you, him, and Joe are all soulmates. That's all I'm saying. Anyways.
What's the channel called?
Beyond Absurd. He has like 50-something subscribers. I'm like, yo, the clips are like, I'll say it sometimes before I do a video, but yo, Beyond Absurd, get your recorder ready. Start fucking following these. Grab this clip and do something with it, bro. Pause. All right. Either way. This is worthy, though. The Arby shit. All right. Here we go.
Living in a delusion. Like, who cares? From your view, it's like they should probably live in that delusion. It's probably better that they live in that delusion.
What do you care?
See, I think that religion can be really good for people, give them a sense of purpose.
Not good enough.
But I think that something I've said before is that I think it's like a betrayal of intellect to not let yourself question the how or the why of the creation of the universe.
Yeah, but I mean, in the skeptic tradition, you should be questioning skepticism too.
Her brain
the fact
is
that you can't give an accounting for any of the
very
things that you
bodacious.
actually care about, like justice. Justice is your preference, right? The idea of justice is your preference. The idea of fairness is your preference. The idea of basically everything is your preference. Shouldn't you be skeptical of that too?
I don't think you answered my question.
What's the question?
Damn it! Get her.
She got it.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not trying to deflect from any questions.
No. I lost it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, fuck. She's like me. Bad memory. She's single. She's a friend. Listen, YellBros are
I hate when people act like it's not normal just to like slip up, you know, and like not remember shit.
I mean, that. What the fuck?
It's like Candace Owens and those kind of people that seem like they're always on. It's like they use they have like agents in their ear and shit and have like script in front of them and stuff.
Probably.
Candace literally has an agent in her ear and she talks to him and sometimes she corrects herself and she's like, I'm being told that it's this.
No, we have proof of that. We heard her going around saying, actually, let me say this. Like, what do you think if I say this? Lee Oswald Harvey. What do you think?
Harvey Lee Oswald?
Seriously, like, what do you think? Lee
Harvey
Oswald Harvey. She messed that up like 5 different times on her show. And then later on, no corrections, just saying like, oh yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. Like with that, like nothing happened. I'm like, oh, okay. The earpiece told her. Got it.
In the same episode.
Yes, in the same episode.
Reverted to it.
I'm like, oh my dear Lord. And then she's ever like looked into the JFK assassination stuff. There's no way you fucked that name up. But don't worry, Candace is a fucking authority on it. Anyways, whatever.
He's a savant.
Whatever.
Like this guy, much like this guy.
Listen, on YellBro's channel, you can sneeze, fart, burp, fuck up, cough, fuck your words up, whatever. As long as it's real, man. That's all that matters. But, okay, she forgot her question. I hope that's real, that she forgot her question. But either way, like, this guy, you have to account for God, you dummy. This guy's argument, you can't not account for God. That is the central piece to all of this. Otherwise, you're not actually talking about Christianity anymore. There's no point to believe in it unless you have an arbiter of right and wrong, in a way. Or some sort of bigger, like maybe it's free will, like everyone goes to heaven. Like make an explanation for that. Just say like, hey man, it actually comes from your heart. In your heart, you have a view of something that's just or unjust. Somewhere buried in your heart somewhere. And when you see those events happen, your heart expresses itself like, oh, that's right, or that's wrong. Why not go with that? But instead, I'm seeing a guy trying to debunk your random girls, I guess, or trying to like win an argument against them for content. Like, ew, you gross motherfucker, bro. I hope he's more than that. This is like one of the few content pieces I've seen from this guy, or his channel, or some things he's associated with. It's one of the few things I've seen. But off like to my stomach right now, I'm like, ew, that's fucking gross. That's gross.
It's so funny. This guy promotes this thing like I'm the man of the household, and then that girl fucking exposed his ass for being like a non-traditional man or whatever in whatever his like what he said to other men, like if you're a stepdad, you're like a lesser man and shit. So then she's like, isn't your fucking wife like you're the third man she's been with 2 other baby daddies or something?
No.
And he just fucking could not handle that shit.
I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you, this is grosser to me. It's like you're saying there's a fucking super being looking over the universe that judges right from wrong, and you're saying It doesn't matter if there's a super being overlooking the universe that has the answers to right and wrong. Like, you can't do that and be honest. You can't do those two things. You can't dismiss it. It's there no matter. It has to be with you 24/7. There's no way around it. Otherwise, you're just a fucking faker at that point. You are.
After all that shit happened, though, his wife came out and then had to like do like a media tour, being like, "My husband is a great man, and our family is perfect."
Rob, I get it.
And it just made him look like even more of a cuck.
I understand. It's embarrassing, but once again, there's a super being overlooking the. Think of, like, really soak the idea in. I'm saying it right now. There's a super being looking over the universe that he says, like, I believe in this. And then he dismisses that existence for the sake of winning against fucking girl A and girl B. Isn't that grosser? To me, that's grosser. I mean, they're both gross, but like, that's fucking super gross, isn't it? Considering what you claim to believe in? Like, really think about that. This super duper being fucking sacrificed his own son to save the world and shit. Like, you dismissed that. You dismissed it. For what? For what? You actually believe that shit? Like, come on.
You can even see his guest, his host or whatever, or his co-host. He's like, just like, oh shit, this isn't looking good for us.
Listen, see this reflection back here? This fool's in the background making hot pockets. I can see a microwave right there or something. He's making hot pockets. All this is going down. Like, what are we doing at that point? He just claimed God is meaningless in regards to all of this, while claiming to believe in God. You know how crazy that is? But these, like, I think the followers will get tricked by fucking content versus, like, the actual, like, look at the scenario, guys. Like, once again, expand your mind and look at it. A super being looking over everything. It's like, come on. Fucking Dr. Manhattan sitting on Mars contemplating life. Like, come on. He's saying that exists. Well, whereas, like, that should be a part of everything you do, period. If he picks up a fucking cup, that should be, like, important to him. Oh my God, God has watched me pick up this cup. The super duper being of the universe. That should be all important, all encompassing importance. It should be. But it's not, is it? Doesn't sound like that. Sorry, go ahead, Jesse. I'm just
you know what? You have to like support him because he's saying he's on the Christian side.
Oh, okay. You just said the words. Okay.
He's on the right side.
Got it. Cool. Awesome.
Even though as soon as he said what he said, I felt like he was shitting on the Bible. But yeah, people will support him because he says he's Christian. Right?
He's not to say the Bible, though. He could say anything. He could say, "Oh, it's God's in your heart, and because He's in your heart, that means whatever you do, you'll feel that presence of guilt or righteousness. You'll feel that feeling of that." You can say that, like, yeah, the Bible is just symbolic. You can do this. You can do like. There's be an explanation where it's like it's so important that it can't be left out of any conversation. It can't be pushed aside at all. You would think that person would believe that, right? They'd have some sort of idea that it's too important to throw away to the side, right? You would think? Go ahead.
If that's where you are, then you'd have to, you would, generally people describe that as just belief in God, right? Like you would start with, like you'd say that, like,
conviction,
and he basically omitted it from nearly all of what he said. Like God was not present. Like he just, what he's anchoring on is a set of morality, and which he didn't even go into detail at all. He had no specificity on this thing that he's anchoring his entire argument on. But that's what he's called the Christian morality is what he's actually arguing for, and not God or anything in the Bible.
But I understand,
and he's not presenting it that way. That's what I actually. The reason I bring it up so much is because he's not presenting it as if he's that. Because if he wasn't saying basically he's presenting it as Christianity because that's the audience that he's pulling in to get that support. But that's not what he's actually selling. That's what irks me.
Let's put it this way. Bob could say, you know what, I'm Christian. But Bob's personal belief is, well, you win some, you lose some, right? Maybe that's his whole philosophy for life. You win some, you lose some. But God can't have that answer, right? God cannot have that answer of, oh, well, you win some, you lose some. It's God, right? He can't have that answer. He or she cannot, or it cannot have that fucking answer, right? So imagine when someone asks Bob, hey, Bob, I'm curious about your religious belief. What do you think God is like? Well, you win some, you lose some. That can't be your answer, right? When you're talking about the thing that cannot be stuck in the simpleton route of you win some, you lose some, right? That can't be the answer about that thing. It has to be, oh my God, it's a feeling I had, it's something I have, a feeling I had, words I had, an experience I had to where like that thing is it. It can't be you win some, you lose some. It can't be because it's the fucking arbiter of the universe. It's fucking Dr. fucking Manhattan. It can't be just, oh, whatever. Right? It's just something bigger than that, I would hope or think. But that's where we're at, apparently. I'm done. That's GG's for me. I'm done with this fucking video. Maybe there's a longer form version where there's more answers and less Arby shirts. I don't know. Either way, there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. I'm sure Andrew Wilson fans like, shut up, you know what intellectualism and Please tell me your opinions in the comment section. Do not forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. And guess what? All opinions are welcome. Just someone might push back if you say something. But don't be scared. You are loved no matter what. By that. God, what do you say about this? God, do you love everyone? God, do you love everyone, bro? Well, you win some, you lose some. Oh, fuck. Thanks, God. But yeah, don't be scared. Show up if you want to. Also, this video will be linked in the description box for you to look at on your own. I feel like I should be posting like 30 more interesting atheism versus agnostic versus Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Jewish, different concepts and ideas of spirituality in the world, the woo-woo, the new age, the paganism, like all that shit. I feel like I should post like 30 fucking links attached to this one to be like, see how serious like at least it looks how serious these guys take these questions and answers versus, well, you know, I'm talking to two random girls that have not done enough studying on these topics. And you know what? I'll drop down to your level. You know what? Maybe morality is relative. And you know what? Maybe my answer is better. How about that? Like, what? Who'd that work on? Oh, wait, Dubster. Yeah, that makes sense now. It worked on him. Worked on his dumbass. Got it. Either way, you get to watch this on your own. I will link it. Good luck with the other stuff. And with all that said, most importantly, what should I do? Jesse? Give this video? Jesse?
Fuck this video. Give it Julius Caesar a thumbs down.